All right. So, why is there a memory card there?
Why not?
It's gonna bother me.
Sorry.
Shit, I forgot what I was supposed to do.
Hey, welcome to the Instantaneous Podcast, where we do a podcast from Instantaneous Productions.
Studio Place.
Studio Place.
Number 2.
This
is the second one. As you can see, there's a significantly less amount of people on here tonight.
In fact, 1.
And a significantly less amount of cameras because I broke one and didn't charge another
Breaking
one.
the fourth
So
wall
we're down
again.
to 1 camera tonight, guys. And I'm sorry, but it's going to be pretty crappy like that. But anyways.
Not crappy, just less good.
Less good. Crappy.
Okay.
I'm sure we're going to get tons of complaints and the world's going to end.
1 camera.
Unsub. Dislike.
I don't know how you would actually like type out but
MWHAHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHH. Maybe a couple more H's. H.
You wanted the classic response? True.
False.
No, not happening.
But yeah, tonight's topic is music.
Wait, who are you?
Who
are you?
I always forget to do the opening.
Yeah.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Jimmy.
And I'm the world's bestest grandpa. Also known as Jimmy.
Where's
Who's
the
Jimmy?
other mug? I
Jimmy.
put the other mug over there.
Oh, too bad.
There was another mug that we were using earlier that says, Grandma, you're the best, but your is spelt YOUR''RE.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Your river, the best.
You're
So yeah,
It's true.
music. Back on topic.
Okay.
Where do you guys want to start with this?
I'd like to say, first of all, that I like music. I don't know about you guys, but
What kind of musical interests do you have? What are you interested in listening to?
mostly good music. I don't like bad music.
Well, bad music sucks. I mean,
Yeah, it's true. That's one
but
of the
that's
reasons
all
I
by
don't
your
like it.
opinion. So what do you like?
Well, my opinion, God, you make it sound so personal.
Yeah.
Like it matters.
Just gonna fucking smack you with personal questions.
Okay. All right. Well, it all started when I was a kid, and I listened to Chumbawamba. You know, that band that had that one song, "I Get Knocked Down, but then I Get Up Again."
Yeah.
I had that on cassette tape. It's pretty good.
Oh my god.
What was the
Yeah.
artist's name?
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba.
I forget what this song's called.
Imagine how he got like
They're British too. That
how
blew
they
my mind.
how they like introduce him onto stage. Next up, Chumbawamba.
It's exciting.
Almost blew my drink
Yeah.
out of my nose.
That's good. That makes things interesting.
That's just the Chumbawamba effect.
Yeah.
The Chumbawamba. Chumbawamba.
In the dictionary, the picture's like.
That perfectly describes them.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think so.
But yeah, what kind of bands?
Well, Chumbawamba, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I listen to old stuff because I'm an old man. I don't know. I like old, classic-y, rocky stuff and bluesy and,
Bluesy.
bluesy.
Like Black Keys bluesy, or
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
do you like old bluesy?
Old
Like,
blues. I'm an old man at heart, man. I don't know.
give me one band.
I get cream.
Cream. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Cheese.
What about cake?
Milk.
Cake, eggs.
Oh, that's my grocery list. I'm sorry.
My bad.
Yeah, I get them mixed up in my head sometimes. I don't know, It's like I like the Beatles. I like the Pink Floyds. I like the 10 Years After. Moldy cheese. I keep getting my. Sorry, it's on my grocery list again. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I like old stuff. I'm an old man.
Old music.
Yeah.
There's
Hendrix.
nothing wrong with having
Yeah.
like a taste in old music though. Like that's the stuff that I grew up with.
It's cheap. Too,
And
I'll say.
well, yeah, that too. But like, it's one of those things where if you grow up with it, it definitely kind of like forms your tastes as you go on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. When I was a kid, there was 2 kinds of music in my mind. Well, 3 kinds. Chumbawamba. There was the stuff my sister listened to, which is like all the like boy bands and like
Radio
pop
Disney
shit.
stuff.
Yeah. And then there was the stuff my dad listened to, which was like you know, Doobie Brothers and Led Zeppelin and all that shit. And I'm like, you
too.
know what? I'm gonna pick that one.
Yeah.
I'll leave Chumbawamba for later.
Chumbawamba.
I'll skip the middle of it. It's okay. So I just kind of stuck with me.
That's funny.
I was always around like a really eclectic, like.
Your dad likes bluegrass, dude. Doesn't
Yeah,
he?
my dad likes
loves
bluegrass and country and all that stuff. And then my mom liked classic rock, and then like old school hip hop. Like, I kid you not. I kid you not. Yeah, I kid you not.
Awesome.
I grew
Your mom
up
a school
listening to
teacher?
LL Cool J and all that stuff all the time.
Blasting like Eminem and Dr. Dre out your windows as you're pulling out your teeth,
NWA.
like third
What's
grade.
up?
But like
God.
Shaggy's actually probably half the reason why I love reggae music.
Really?
Like, I kid you not, like I have like a very fond memory of going to school every morning in the like big SUV my parents drive, just blasting the same Shaggy CD for like probably 3 or 4 years straight.
God.
Every morning. Like,
That's
yeah,
funny.
Wow.
it was fun. I keep kicking that stat.
How about you stop? Okay, this is a professional. It's professional here. Okay, you're in the same room as the world's bestest grandpa, so please try not to embarrass yourself. Okay.
It'll be a little inappropriate.
Jesus.
Embarrass yourself in front of old people.
Sorry.
Completely off topic here. Have you seen the commercial for that?
Bad grandpa?
Yeah, Bad Grandpa.
I know exactly what
haven't
you're
seen it.
talking about.
That
Oh,
looks
God.
so beautiful.
It's made by the guys from Jackass, and it's like a
Oh yeah, okay.
and it's like an old fake grandpa and some little kid and just shenanigans.
Who is the actor
I
for
don't
that?
know.
Isn't it Johnny Knoxville?
It could be.
I think
couldn't
it's
tell.
Johnny
Looks too old.
Knoxville.
That's
Well, then
awesome.
again, Johnny Knoxville's pretty old now.
Well, yeah, he is. Oh my
He
God,
looks
he's getting
pretty old. Like, it's not even like age-wise. His
How old is
body.
he?
I don't know. Old enough.
How
to-
old is Johnny Knoxville?
I don't know.
But like, it's definitely. I think because if you watch the like other Jackass movies, the Bad Grandpa was in the skit.
Yeah, that
And
was a
everything,
recurring
that's-
skit that they did.
Yeah, that's why it's there. I'm pretty sure if I remember right, he was the one getting his makeup done before the first time that they debuted that skit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, he's probably at least in his like late 40s, something like that. Maybe. I don't know. But he looks.
I think I read he was like 40. I'm pretty sure, if not older.
Although, like, I don't know,
He
all the
is
drugs or whatever.
42.
He looks. You wouldn't tell by
Damn.
looking at him because he
That's
looks
awesome.
really friggin' old, man. That's like
I mean, like,
all the drugs you do.
he's definitely starting to look old now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing like a link dump and
Yeah.
everything for like all this stuff that we talk about.
Okay.
It's gonna be in the bottom of the description here. But yeah.
Or you may
So-
just put Johnny Knoxville's old face in front of Jimmy over here, and then
I can do that. I can superimpose it. Let's just Photoshop it. Like, just
Yeah.
the rest of the night, it's just Johnny Knoxville talking.
All right. Here we are with special guest Johnny Knoxville. He's old.
So,
Yeah.
my musical interests, jumping back on topic here.
Why?
Just, I don't know.
Okay, I'll accept it.
I think Jimi Hendrix, but I didn't actually get into like older music until I was like coming out of high school, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and it's weird because I just had friends that were into like music of now, so I always listened to that, and now I've actually come to more of a liking of the older music because they're just like they just do like mindless solos and shit, and it's like way more awesome than just like
Yeah.
one time, like ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know.
Same
it's like,
repetitive beats.
you know, they do really cool stuff with what they had, which is like guitars, drums, bass, keyboards or whatever, instead of like, and they had to have talent to make good sounding music, and not just like, let me just sample this and then just do it the way that makes it sound good on a computer that no one will tell the difference from. Just auto-tune it
I
to
mean,
hell,
like,
I
I don't mind that kind of music, and I give the respect I can to
Yeah.
them. But like, obviously, some of them at least. I don't know for sure. Some of them are like doing performance, or they're just going up and hitting the fucking space bar and starting their song, and they're just like, "All right, guys, let's hang out for like an hour and a half."
Yeah, I don't know if you
Skrillex
guys.
is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, did you guys watch?
I don't know if the other ones are doing that or what they're doing.
Did you guys see Lollapalooza the stream?
I saw a couple.
I was
like,
at one that
bits
was
of
Dead
it.
Mouse was at, but I didn't go to the actual show.
I watched the stream for a little bit, and there was there's these two girls. I don't know who they are, but literally it was just them. They had two like Macs and like these little like pedal board things.
Yeah.
And then they would like push buttons, walk up and go sing, and then go push a couple more buttons, and then go up and sing some more.
So they're just like adding onto a loop.
Yeah, and they would like change like different little rhythms in there and like add in different sound effects. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, they weren't bad singers, but I mean, I don't know, the music's just
like that is a performance, but there's better.
Yeah, I'll give them credit for being able to do that, stuff live. But I mean,
Definitely. Yeah, and
it could be more impressive.
It definitely is a different type of performance. I mean, it does take a good amount of skill to be able to keep that type of stuff going through your head and know what you want to do next. It's not as easy as just like press play like some DJs do. Even some DJs in nightclubs, they sit down throughout like weeks or months and build mixes, and then they literally just play the mix and then act like they're doing stuff.
Which is like, if I was just playing the mix and I was the DJ, I mean, I would be like, yeah, I fucking made all this music. It's awesome. Love it. But I would tell them if I was just like, yeah, let's hang out, because I don't want to just be like, all right, let me just get my fake knob board out real quick and just turn on my fake
Nothing's
knobs.
Plugged in. I'm gonna do
Make
everything.
sure you get the camera. You can see behind me working on my fake knobs.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was never into that.
Well,
it's just like, why even put the effort into turning fake knobs if you can just be like, yo, what's up?
I mean, you give them credit because they mixed that stuff and they did all the work behind it.
And that's why I totally
that's cool. But
give them respect.
Don't like fake like you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
does
EDM does take a good amount of like skill. Like any type of electronic music is just like, it does get very technical.
Oh yeah.
Like anybody who's gone through music theory, like all three of us have like, we can dissect that type of stuff and be like, well, shit, this is like way more than what it comes
off to be. There's a lot of thought put into it, but it's just not as like soulful, and there's not as much like, I don't even know the right word to say. It's older music's way more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
It's raw skill instead of like skill with a keyboard and buttons.
I just really like the old like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix jams. They're really like, especially the live ones. They're just insane.
Although sometimes though, Jimmy was like, he was on too many drugs for his own good.
Yeah, I know. He just sit there and do some weird.
Yeah,
he was just going with the flow there.
Yeah, and he's like, his guitar's feedbacking, like you can't even hear any notes he's playing. He's like, yeah.
There's a little blockage in his flow,
Exactly.
Didn't he like douse his headband in LSD or something?
No,
like that?
I heard he had like
like
a
that.
cut on his forehead, so he just had a headband on. He's like, you know what this headband needs? Acid. Dips it in there.
Because anybody who wears a
balls.
headband just needs acid headbands.
Yeah.
That needs to be marketed now.
I mean, I remember watching old videos of Jimi Hendrix, and he used to just go like on stage and literally walk up to the mic and be like, all right, we're just gonna jam out for you guys tonight. We're just gonna play whatever the fuck.
That's great. I love that.
Thank you for coming and paying for your tickets. Have fun listening to the farts of my mind.
I'd pay good money for the farts of his mind.
I know.
But it's funny, like, I watched, if you watch the Woodstock performance of Santana, have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
He makes some ugly ass, like I know people have guitar faces, but like Santana especially, he's got like, and like, I watched this interview, but he's like jamming out crazy, and it sounds really nice. I watched this interview of him, like, like in 2009 or something like that, and he's like, oh man, I was on so much LSD. He's like, I never tried LSD before, but I was like, I'm just gonna one time, and he's like, okay, I go on in a couple hours, I have time to chill out and drink some water and get my mind flowing, and then they put him on like 5 minutes later.
Oh my god.
So they start playing, and he said the reason he's making those faces is because in his mind, his guitar neck was like a snake, and he was like squirming around. He's like, and he was like, I'm trying to make these faces because like I'm trying to hold down the snake, so let me play it. I was like, and I was like, Jesus, man. And you look at his face, he's like,
terrified of his own guitar.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
hilarious. And he's like, I would never, ever do LSD again, and I don't recommend it to anybody else. So I'm like, all
And
right.
now there's bath salts that make
Yeah.
people eat other people.
Yeah, apparently. But yeah,
That's funny.
so, don't do LSD, kids. You get eaten by
Drugs
guitar
are
snakes.
bad.
Yeah, they are.
You know. But that's cool.
But yeah, like back to the difference of like old school like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that, and like current EDM and all the like electronic style,
I don't know what EDM means. I'm sorry.
electronic dance music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's like boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats.
boots and cats. Yes. All right, but yes.
I was gonna add some noises there.
I don't want to know how long it's gonna go. In fact.
Put your cat.
Anyways, you were saying cats.
But yeah, like it's I completely lost
Lose
my
your train of thought.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do that a lot.
But like the
Electronic
difference-
dance music. That's all I remember.
Do you think like the difference is with like current generations of kids like us? Like we all have friends that typically go to like raves and blah blah blah. But like, do you think that you're going to start seeing more of a pre-recorded thing on stage?
I hope not. That's all
I
can
wouldn't
say.
want that to
Yeah,
happen
that'd
for
be
anything.
really annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I feel. Like it's
I
already
mean,
obnoxious.
with that genre, probably, honestly, because
Well,
a lot of people
definitely.
don't harness the knowledge to even do it
Yeah, it's sad.
live. It's sad because it's so easy to do things like that nowadays. Like I can sit in there and do shit, and I'm just like, this is way too easy for my own good.
Well, it's like there's no point. Like if that's not the point of recorded music. The point of recorded music is to enjoy it
Right.
outside of a concert. Because when you had like fucking symphonies and shit, trademark that. Symphonies and shit. If you heard like a symphony,
true, yeah.
that was the only
those.
time you ever heard that song.
Yeah.
You would go literally like throughout your lifetime, like
Maybe
before
hear the same
recording-
song twice
Yeah,
in your entire life.
yeah. That was on a Vsauce recently, wasn't it? Like
Yeah, I was
today or
watching
something.
that.
yeah, I kind of felt like that's where you were
I
going.
don't know what he was talking about, clapping or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah,
But,
it made me
like-
think about that. I'm like, yeah, that's why you record music, so you can hear it outside of live performances. You go to a performance not to hear music, you're here to see performers create music.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, personally, if I saw a dubstep band, Muse did some dubstep, but I mean, take everything you hear in a dubstep song and put a person to it.
yeah,
And then give them something to make that noise, some kind of
Yeah.
instrument. There's weird shit, Radiohead uses some really bizarre
Mm.
things to make background noise. Imagine if you just had just a wub, a wub guitar, just he's sitting in the corner
Just like a guitar that's just got wub noises in it.
I mean, they technically have it Muse. Chris Wolstenholme and Muse has this bass for Madness, and he literally twiddles his fingers on it, and it goes ma 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 ma. I'm just what
That's
the
cool.
fuck? It's
How would
pretty
you
cool.
do that?
I don't know. It's
different guitar effects.
it's the whole
pedal boards.
XY chaos pad thing. Have you seen Matt Bellamy's
Yeah,
guitars?
he's got the chaos pad
Yeah.
built into his guitar.
Basically, it's an
Oh,
XY
yeah.
grid, and then wherever your finger goes on it depends on what frequencies you're going to play. And then usually there's two different sounds connected to the X and the Y. So if you hit in the middle, it plays the two at once, and if you go up towards the top a little more, it'll play prominently the X over the Y. If that makes
Basically,
sense.
So it's
a
like an
color
electronic-
wheel on say Photoshop or any
Yeah.
color grading thing for video. It's just you have the blank color here, and then it kind of goes to different variations.
Well, yeah, it does it with the
between
color, but it
each
does it with the
one.
sound as well.
Yeah.
So he can make they basically took Matt Bellamy's idea of making crazy weird alien noises, but they applied it to bass and dubstep sounding stuff. So
Sounds
he
like
can
an-
literally take his finger and just put it on a flat iPad surface kind of thing, on a guitar thing to change the tones. And he
Wow.
just so he can get his rhythms with the movement of his
Sounds like an
fingers.
electronic, like Thurman or something like that.
It's
you know?
weird. It's
That's
really
crazy.
cool.
Wow.
It does seem really cool though.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
sounds you want to make.
And then
dude.
you could have theremins in the dubstep music too
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
that's crazy.
that's something I hope that's where the electronic music will definitely be heading towards.
I would be going to electric Daisy Carnival if that was the case.
Like, the thing is, though, is, like, we have, like, a whole bunch of instruments that have been built even over the last, like, few decades.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's new stuff, like the Chaos Pad built into guitars and stuff. Like, it's taking one instrument and just, like, changing the way it works.
Yeah,
more. It's like
you're just adding like more opportunities to make different frequencies and different noises on it.
Yeah, it's like going from like an old school flute that was like carved out of a stick, and now you're playing on like the metal one that can do so much more.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to start to see like newer instruments devoted to making electronic music like that?
Yeah, because they're already appearing. Like, they're appearing right now. Like, I've seen... The only time I've really seen it is random videos on YouTube and, like, Muse and their music videos. Because I don't really listen to that much kind of music. But, I mean, they're already being introduced to, like, music like Muse. Well, so, if they're being introduced to that, maybe... Hopefully, someone will get that idea or watch this video and get the idea to do it.
Like, the only example I know of is, like, like Neil Peart of Rush.
Yeah.
He's got, like, this, like, electronic, like, drum pads that he puts different sounds to.
I've seen that, I watched the whole, like, documentary on the whole
I saw him live
deal.
once.
Did you?
Awesome. It was so cool, dude. They're fucking
Alex
insane.
tells me a lot about him.
They're intense musicians, dude. I mean... There's so much talent in those three people. Just blows my mind.
That's what I mean, though. They took what they had. Like, he used to play bass and keyboard at the same time.
Yeah, and he got, like, foot pedals doing, like...
lead singer did.
Italy.
So, like...
Yeah.
How long have they been touring for?
Forever.
Whole fucking lives.
Well, I know that, but I mean, like... Do you know roughly how many years they've been touring? Because I can't.
When did they start?
Well, I know Moving Pictures came out in 1981. And they started out in 1978.
So like a late 70s band? Or?
Yeah. They started out in late 70s and had a different drummer. They sounded like Led Zeppelin. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know. I did listen to their first album.
It's crazy. It's really good. And then, like...
That's actually immediately, I was like, this is like fucking just like Led Zeppelin.
It's crazy.
And then I listened to their like 80s and 90s albums, and it's just like...
It's... Totally different.
Totally different. It's this whole, like, electronic, like, Casio keyboard band, basically.
That's, like, I mean, that's a good example of, like, you know, good musicians who embrace, you know, innovations and changes and stuff like that.
Muse is doing that. So, yeah.
They had, like, a whole dubstep album or something like that.
Yeah, which is, like, that's really popular now. It's been
really
used
good?
to describe, actually, this era as, like, music. You know, it's, like, something that's been created now, so...
That's cool, yeah.
They just were kind of like, they've pretty much hit a lot of the soundscapes already, and like rock and soul and all that junk.
I think that's why you're starting to see a lot more collaborations too. People are starting to like. Now, granted, Skrillex is
a fucking loser.
There's one main song that I like by Skrillex, and it's a collaboration he did with Damian Marley. Probably one of the coolest songs I've heard.
Song,
but like collaborations between artists are definitely giving some interesting like sounds now. Like you're seeing like Tech Nine just did a collaboration with Five Finger Death Punch, which is
awesome.
Two completely
that's
polar opposite
weird.
genres. And the song that they redid is Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J.
That's awesome.
So imagine Five Finger Death Punch
serious?
And Tech Nine doing LL Cool J.
That's
Five
really
Finger,
cool.
Mama Said Knock You Out.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to apply that. You just take the right talent and put it in the right place.
Yeah, and like the cool thing is, especially with like YouTube, you see it a lot on YouTube. Like that's how YouTube runs, is through collaboration. And being able to see that now, the music industry is pretty awesome. Like they've been doing collaborations for a long time. That's no new thing, but it's like stepping outside of your genre to do collaborations with other genres to make up a whole new genre of music. Like that's awesome.
It's like when Run DMC and Aerosmith collaborated
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Oh, what was that song?
Walk This Way.
Yes.
And they started rapping to it.
Yes.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
That's another song that I grew up listening to.
That's really
I mean,
cool.
you gotta love that cross-genre stuff. I mean, it's really cool. Blending two worlds together.
Back to the whole Rush touring thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed in the population of Earth now, because I typed into YouTube, how long has Rush been touring? And one of the things that's on the first page of YouTube is One Direction news.
Oh God!
Like, how is that? How is that even tied into Rush?
that could be tied like Big Time Rush, like maybe.
What's Big Time Rush?
It's like I think it's like a Nickelodeon or Disney like boy band show.
Yeah.
And they like sing like NSYNC
Shit.
did.
So it's like a modern
They just
NSYNC.
stand around and they're like, that blonde girl over there across the pool needs to touch my pee-pee. Like, that's the shit they...
That's a quote.
That's not a quote, but that's like, when I watch the show, that's what I'm thinking the whole time. They're just like, with their hair.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, not good, but bad.
It's
That's
just...
the word. I don't know.
like that show.
That's great.
You can't find like an actual thing.
Well, here's your first problem: is you're searching on YouTube.
I'm not searching on YouTube.
Isn't that what you just said?
No, Google.
You said YouTube.
I said YouTube. YouTube's
Yeah.
been on my mind like all day.
You mean like the first link on YouTube for it was-
YouTube.
No, it was Google.
Okay.
Sorry.
Making
I'm
sure,
in like
man.
autopilot right now.
I don't know how late it is right now, but I mean,
So I'm sure it's not just me, but like when it comes to music for you, it's not just like playing guitar.
no, it's
No.
like
Do you like write your own original music or?
yeah, I'm really bad at it.
But you still try though.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I couldn't write words to save my life, but I mean, I've definitely like screwed around, like made up songs.
You make like
stuff
riffs
that.
and like
yeah,
instrumental
and, like,
songs.
I'll tell you what, like doing like taking music theory classes. I'm in music theory 3 right now. That is like opened up doors that I didn't even know existed. Like
For playing,
yeah, and writing and especially playing piano. I mean, like I suck at piano,
and you can
but
just
like
sit
it
there and
never
fiddle
made
with
more
it.
sense until I've like learned
Yep.
theory. You know.
Yeah.
But
Do you
it's
feel like that kind of taints your creativity learning so much?
No, not really. I was
No?
really bad at it. I'll
Really?
be honest. I mean, because it's like, because you get stuck after a point. There's only so much you can do with
Yeah,
your
I
own.
know.
It's like, all right, these chords sound good together, and what else can I do? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Oh,
eventually
well,
hit a
you
wall.
know, yeah, I could use, the predominant, which could be the 2 chord, or it could be the 4 chord, and then I can, add that in there. Oh, that sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to do a modulation. Hey, let me find the 3 of the 5 in the scale. In that
So
key.
basically, you can just sit there and be like, all right, let's do this, and you know
Yeah.
exactly how to set it up.
Yeah, and then try it out. If it doesn't sound good, then I did something wrong. There's rules that sound good, There's like surefire things that sound good usually, but it's like tweaking those things and finding out what you really like. That is really cool, and what I like about it. It's hard as fuck, but I mean,
I've had a difficulty with it because, like,
it's hard.
I
I'll say that.
understand music theory fine,
Yeah,
but I have a difficulty embracing it because, in my opinion, after too much of it, it becomes too much of a science to me,
Yeah,
and I have
yeah,
trouble
definitely.
being like creative and creating new things because of what I'm learning. I
yeah.
suppose if I get more into the advanced music theory like you are,
Yeah,
then
I'd say for sure, man.
I might
like,
appreciate it more. So
Yeah,
I'll have
Theory
to look into it
2
a little more and see how I feel about it.
Yeah, Theory 2 is more like talk about chords and harmonization and like how to do actual like good sounding chord progressions and use like have you ever used a diminished chord in your life?
Like I
You
know
never
them, but
use-
no,
You never use them.
They
I'll
sound
take that
like
back.
shit,
you do,
Yeah.
but if you use them in the right way,
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
very
Yeah.
true.
It's
I
so
agree.
cool. Like you can just make really cool stuff with stuff you're like, okay, why would I want to use an augmented chord? It doesn't exist. It's not a real thing. It's just like a fake science music thing.
True.
But it's
I'm
like,
glad
you
we
know-
talked about it now because now I'm more excited for my theory class.
Yeah,
next
dude,
semester.
it's awesome.
And it's something that like is a kid
French,
that
my
did
teacher.
band like forever.
Oh yeah.
You and I shared the same experience.
Yeah.
You start to notice things, especially when you're in that like symphony setting. It's like, okay, the clarinets are playing this while the trombones and trumpets are playing this.
Yeah.
By themselves, it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
But all together,
It's really cool.
The way that everything meshes, it's like you start seeing like diminished
Yeah.
fifth and stuff like that, where it's just like naturally it doesn't sound right, but when it's got other things accompanying it,
it's crazy.
It's awesome, and it comes up with like some really cool sounds.
Yeah. And knowing how that works, I think is really neat. Like I like that. It's pretty cool. I mean,
it's a good skill to have.
Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna rely on that as your only way to write things. Like, it has to be by the book or whatever. You know, you're gonna screw around and find out what you want to do, and then
it's probably better to know about it though than to not know about it.
I would say if anyone's like, I don't want to learn theory, it's boring. Yeah, it's kind of boring, but this is useful stuff that you can use. Yeah. Like if you ever get stuck in a rut and you just want to like find out other things you can do and try different things, you know, it's definitely something you want to know. You don't have to rely on just know about it. You know?
It's just the blueprints to writing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like there's always going to be times that you want to like break the rules. Like, you know, doing film and stuff like that, which is something that I love doing. Mm-hmm. You know, if I stuck to just like the rule of thirds or stuff like that, where it's like the way a shot is set up, making it a science, it comes off really weird. Just doing everything by the books.
It's really generic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And you can sit there and do like one of the coolest things when you're doing storytelling, which is like stories. Mess that up a little bit, is like if you want to allude to like some sort of thing happening soon, like typically when you look at a shot and have two people talking back and forth to each other, you're looking over one shoulder of each person and jumping back and forth. Now if you switch over, mentally it makes it so that it's like, what's going on here? Something's not right, and it sets that feeling in the back of your mind, even though nothing's changed really yet. It alludes to it and like foreshadows to things that are going to happen soon. And like once you start seeing stuff like that where it's like breaking the rules in movie making or even music making, you start to see some really cool dynamic things done differently. If everybody's stuck to, you know, this is how it should be done, then it's gonna get really boring really quickly.
That's how I am with my audio stuff. Like I just do it sounds good. I don't like I'm going to school for this. I'm going to go to school to become a professional audio engineer. I want to know how to do it the right way. Yeah. But if I find a better way to do it, I'm going to obviously do it the better way. I'm not just going to do like, I got to do it because school taught me to do it this way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if I heard someone else say that, I'd be like, you're a fucking douche.
Yeah. So it's like no one's going to want you to, you know, mix their tracks if you're just like, oh, well, it has to be this way. And like, well, okay, dude, it sounds like shit, but if you want to do it that way, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be the guy who's like, yeah, let's make it sound good. Let's make it sound even better.
And then you start getting into the thing where, like, I'm going back to filmmaking here.
They're both comparable things, though. So
yeah, but you look at, like, what Michael Bay makes, okay? His, like, cinematography style. Yeah. And then something like Alfred Hitchcock or, you know, one of those guys. They both went to, like, film school, learned the same stuff, essentially. Like, things change over time. Yeah. But you start learning the same, like, technical things, like rule of thirds and blah, blah, blah. But each person puts their own, like, art style on it. Music and stuff like that. Recording is another wonderful way. You can get something to sound perfectly plain Jane, and then just by, you know, tweaking a few things, it sounds completely different. It might not be how, like, music school taught you, but it's your style or, like, the musician's style. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. You know, you don't always have to go by the book.
With music recording, it's weird because school helps a lot with that. But you can still do it without school. Like, you can go and you can watch the videos and buy the equipment, and because, like, now it's, you know, technology's a lot better than it used to be. Yeah. So, you know, back in the day, you'd have to go and pay the recording studio or make a deal with them, and, you know, that may or may not make you famous or dirt poor. Yeah. So nowadays, you can go to Sam Ash, buy yourself a $200 interface, get a $100 mixer, buy some wires, a couple microphones, and set up for, like, $1,000. Yeah. And record your own music. You know, try your best to make it sound the best you can. Get your music out there, get noticed, You're done.
Yeah.
You never have to touch it again. Or what I'm doing is I'm going to school for it. I'm going to figure out how to do it the best I can with what I know and what I'm going to learn, and hopefully get somewhere with it. So,
Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like, you've been doing an amazing thing of, like, acquiring technology as you go on. Like, you'll get this piece of equipment and this piece of equipment, and it's just more stuff in your quiver. Just like photographer's camera lens or something like that. You know, it's one more thing that they can turn back to get new or different sounds or pictures and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like, whereas other people are like, oh, I'm just gonna go and spend like $500 to have this one recording session. You're being like, no, I want to do it my way. I want to learn this stuff.
The whole paying for recording, if it's reasonable, I'd pay for it. But in the first place, if I can learn how to do it and buy the equipment, I'd rather invest long term and invest all the money I would on recording in all my equipment, learn how to do it, and then never have to pay for recording.
Yeah.
So initially, I saved myself money in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things that learning those skills will definitely help you in the long run.
And you get to do it your way. I get to do it. It gets to sound the way I want it to sound. I don't have to talk to anyone about it. I can just sit down and do it. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, man.
People think I'm weird with cars, and like
You are.
Thanks. Like in the fact
Sits
that
outside.
I'm sorry.
Smudge. Jimmy, get the Windex.
But like, in the fact that I don't like other people touching my car, you know, and it's not the fact that like I don't trust other people. I know there's people that know way more than me, but it's one of those things where it's like, if it breaks, I want to know how to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to know, like, the right and wrong ways. If I screwed up, I screwed it up. I'm not looking at, like, some garage and being like, hey, you broke such and such piece. What are you thinking? Like, if I break it, it's like, well, fuck. I need to figure out how to do this
That's
now.
what I do, too. Yeah.
And that's just acquiring skills is an amazing thing. Yeah.
I break shit all the time.
Yeah, and you never learn. If you were to do everything perfect, you would never learn what to do when something goes wrong.
Exactly.
That one time that something goes wrong, you're just like, I don't know what to do. Like,
It's never happened before.
making mistakes, especially while we're young, you know, you and I are learning, like, all this stuff, like, don't do this next time, like, all that stuff. Excuse me.
You're not excused.
Never forgiven. Forever.
But, like,
Shame.
it's one of those things where it's like, we're learning all that stuff now.
Yeah.
So we can afford to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Where if we did everything perfectly and then, you know, 10 years from now,
Make a
something
mistake,
breaks and we don't know what to do, that's a big issue. You know?
Exactly.
So learning it now is perfect.
And some of the best artists are doing the same thing or have done the same thing. They do it themselves. Tech9 did it himself.
Yeah.
He figured it out, did it himself, you know. He comes up with his own mixes, beats on his freaking chest, and raps with it.
That he does.
Like, he's an incredible artist in what he does. And he did it himself. He didn't follow anyone. I'm pretty sure didn't Macklemore do it himself too?
Yeah, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis are still independent.
Yeah. So like, I feel like, in my opinion, I would much rather figure out how to do it myself and, you know, jump into the industry myself than have like a recording or not an industry, a recording company do it for me.
All right. Hey, guys. Sorry about this. We had to cut the video short tonight because we had some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Between mics cutting out, cameras being down. Yeah.
You guys can just blame it on me. It's really my
It's all
fault.
his fault.
Sorry.
He's to blame.
Sorry.
No, it
it's
was
not
stuff
his
that
fault.
was out of our control, and we lost a lot of good footage that we wanted to share with you guys. But this is this is what you'll get for tonight. So
assuming you watched this entire hour's worth long of us talking on one camera, make sure you check out our next video, or our next series actually coming out this Saturday, and it is called Creator Spotlight.
Wow, what is that, Jimmy? That sounds like a hoot.
It is going to be a show about musicians and different, actually not just musicians, creators. And essentially we're just going to take a little bit of like, ask them what they're writing about and why they write it. And
It's almost like an interviewee.
why they like it, you know, a little interview.
Okay.
And then we might put a little bit of a performance in there, perhaps. Some cool camera angles. Get some mics in this bitch.
All right.
the idea is to basically be able to have somebody who have made content for us, like you, with your show.
You go
We'll
in and
do
play.
a creator spotlight for you
Yep.
about your content that you make for Instantaneous Productions and stuff like that. If you have a new series that you're coming out with, we'll show you stuff like that and blah, blah, blah.
But, Kyle Dewey, this Saturday, watch it on the YouTube channel. Please.
Instantaneous Productions is the one you're watching right now.
Watch it Saturday. This Saturday.
And if you guys haven't already, like the Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and are we on anything else?
I
can't
don't know.
remember right
And
now.
any other social site you may find us on. We can't remember at the moment because we're really tired of our equipment.
Yeah.
I'll put links to everything below. So
He'll do
if
it.
you've made it this far, might as
Kudos
well
to
check
you.
that out.
You get a gold star.
You do get a gold star. And for that gold star, we are going to send you to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Anyways.
We won't be
Some
able to do that because that's way
Some
too
restrictions
expensive.
may apply.
Just kidding.
If you're a human being, we can't do that.
If you're
No.
a dog,
we can't do that
perhaps.
either. If you're a fairy, no.
No sentient beings.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
Yeah, we can't do that. So basically, you're all out of luck. Sorry, guys.
We tried.
All right.
Alrighty.
Instantaneous Productions signing out.
Have a good night.